What up, everybody? This is Matt with Survivalist 2012, and I'm going to build a bug out security. Just in case you have to bug out in your tent, you'll have some measure of security while you're sleeping. So with everything that I've kind of gathered around, a couple stakes, some sticks that I've carved some pointy ends on. Of course, you'll need your survival knife and your axe and your saw. Cut everything up. I do have a couple old Christmas bells here that I've recently painted green. So these will be going in my bug out bag for added security. This will be like a bug out scenario security system that I'm going to set up going to my bug out tent. Then just a couple things that I've salvaged. These are for a picture frame. Some washers and stuff. You guys will see what I'll use those for. And then we're also going to use the spider wire that I have here as some sort of a tripwire system that I'm going to set up around my bug out tent. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to pitch the tent, get it up, and then start working with all these stakes, spider wire, bells, whatever you can find to attach the spider wire to the stakes and make a good security tripwire setup. So we'll be right back. I'll go ahead and get everything set up, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. Alright, as you guys have seen before, that's my bug out tent. I know it's a little loud. It's got that orange top on it and everything. I do have a brown tarp over here that I cover the top of it with. So it kind of helps camouflage it a little bit if you're out in the woods. Also, I plan to build a sort of a lean-to over the tent itself. Camouflage it a lot more in the deep woods. But I do have the stakes set up. What it is, I set one up in each corner of the tent. And as you guys can see, in the middle of the tent, I have two stakes. And that's on all four corners, four sides I should say, of the tent. Now my plan here is to build a sort of a tripwire system with those bells, because your most vulnerable time when you're bugging out is while you're sleeping. So we gotta come up with some kind of bug out security for when you're sleeping. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and start with the fishing wire and the bell system. As soon as I get it all hooked up, I'll be right back and I'll show you guys the finished product. Alright, be right back, guys. Now I'm going to walk you through the process of getting this all set up. You guys are going to think it's kind of strange, but it works great. I actually come up with this idea on our last family camp out. We had a lot of raccoons and stuff like that, and I was thinking to myself, what's a good way to know which side of the tent the intruder's going to be coming from? Because once you're in the tent, you hear something, yeah, you're going to point in that direction. But with this system that I set up, this tripwire system, you're going to know exactly which way they're infiltrating your bug out camp. So with that being said, you have your two main stakes in the middle. Of course, one is going to be a tie off and one is going to be going to the front of the tent. So what we'll do is, obviously we tied off on this one, and the original plan here, guys, was to use fishing line, but after getting all that set up, I realized you guys aren't going to see that with this crappy camera. So you tie to the one main stake in the front, loop around to this side, and then over to one of the other two stakes on the other side of the tent. You have your washer set up here, then you have plenty of slack, and it's going to the tent. Now I did put it through the tent with fishing line, so if anything hits this tripwire from the front of the tent over to here on this side, you're going to know which corner of your bug out camp has been infiltrated. You can then be inside of your tent with your gun pointing in that direction. Obviously it's going to be at night. You're going to see flashlights anyways. If you don't see flashlights, you can probably think it's more than likely an animal. So you guys can see, something hits this entire tripwire here, it's going to ring the bell inside of the tent. Same goes with the other stake. It's the same principle all the way around. This is our stake with the tripwire going to the one side. This next stake is going to be our tie-off stake. It's going to wrap around the corner stake to the back. Got your washer right there going to the back of your tent. And again, if this gets hit or tripped over, I'm going to know which side. Well, at least inside, I'm going to know which corner. So I'm going to know a square area of where it was infiltrated at. Now, of course, this is set up on a smaller scale for you guys. A much smaller scale. You'd want to build this in a much larger scale. Again, there's your washer stake. Next to it, you have your tie-off stake. Around the back corner of the tent. To your opposite side, you got your washer stake. That's what we're going to call it. Anything hits this tripwire here, inside you're going to know which corner. Next to it is our tie-off stake. Round the corner stake to the corner of the tent, back to the front. Again, our washer stake. This is going to be same deal. That one broke off. I didn't tie it so good. But, you know, again, this is just so you guys can see it with twine. I'm going to be setting it up with fishing string. Now, once you're inside your tent, and one of your areas becomes infiltrated, as you guys can see, we have the bell system set up. That's the corner. Each side of the tent, you have your bell set up. Now, for instance, I already know how this is set up. So, if this bell right here rings, I'm automatically going to know they're coming from that side or that side. Anywhere in between the middle of here, the middle of the tent, and right here. So I'll be looking in that general direction for flashlights or what have you. So, just wanted to show you guys that simple bug out security that I made up. Hope you guys enjoy. Took a lot of time to set up. I actually set it up first with fishing string and realized you guys weren't going to see it, so just swapped it over to the twine there. So I hope this helps, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. Till then, this is Matt with Survivalist 2012. Peace.